Hi, I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week is, when should I fertilize my irises? Well, since spring will be upon us very quickly, it's definitely the right time to start thinking about what to do when our plants wake up. And iris blooms are not only gorgeous, but also short-lived. So if you've ever had a year or two with no blooms, and most of us have, you want to do whatever you can to ensure a good spring show. And fertilization definitely plays a key role in blooming. With irises, over-fertilization can cause just as easily problems as not fertilizing at all. As with most plants, too much nitrogen leads irises to concentrate more on green growth at the expense of flowering, and sometimes to not even bloom at all. So if you have irises, it might help to use a bloom-boosting fertilizer, one with a high middle number and the 3-number ratio in the package. That means it has a high relative amount of phosphorus to nitrogen and potassium. But even more important than a high middle number for many flowering plants would be a very low first number, which means a low amount of nitrogen. Reducing nitrogen for flowering plants is just stress-inducing enough to switch their focus from green growth, or themselves, to blooming, which will lead to the next generation. So back to when. Here in Central Texas, our winters are most often non-existent or gone in the blink of an eye, but we usually have a roller coaster of warm days and at least one late spring frost. So fertilizing too early can be damaging. But not for irises. They start leafing out before winter's over anyway and aren't usually damaged by late spring frost, so boosting their growth early is just fine. Mid-February to early March is a good time to apply fertilizer. Most of the iris-specific fertilizers you'll see will have a 6-10-10 ratio, which would work very well to boost the blooms and lead to an overall healthy plant. You might also fertilize again lightly just after blooming to assist in the plant's recovery after it flowers. Since we had such a great question on fertilizing them, irises are also our pick of the week. This super tough, drought-tolerant genus of plants is full of species that do fabulously well in Central Texas gardens, and they're virtually indestructible, making them the perfect plant for both beginning gardeners who need some successes to boost their confidence, and more seasoned folks who need at least 1 or 2 garden beds to be easy care. Irises are available in almost every color in the rainbow, from glaring, vibrant purples and yellows to the most muted lavenders, creams, and blues. With so many different sizes, colors, and types to choose from, it'll be very difficult not to end up planting more iris than you'd planned on. Bearded irises are perhaps the most familiar to most people, but there are also German, Siberian, Japanese, and Louisiana irises. Some grow best in full sun, while others need a bit of shade. And some, such as Siberian and Louisiana, prefer soggy soil. So if you have heavy clay, those will be great for you. Although the blooms don't last long, the foliage is beautiful, providing a nice sculptural element to the landscape. Like roses, irises are old-fashioned and tough. Growing from a large underground stem, irises are very easy to divide and pass along. The non-boggy species require very little water to survive and thrive, so don't overwater them. Be also careful to clean up around them in winter, since they can get infected with insects and other diseases. To do in your garden this week, look around and see if any of your roses need pruning. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit klru.org/ctg to send us your questions and plants from your garden.